So, two NASA satellites are chasing each other around the Earth, tracking the distance between each other. Their names are Tom and Jerry, and it doesn't really seem like a particularly interesting fact up until we begin this podcast. Let's hit it. Welcome to Break Time on Westside, your number one break time podcast, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya. The man on the mic is Sir Denver B. The show is Tweetstreet, where we get to take a deep dive into Twitter, pull in a couple of tweets, and we break it down like it is. As usual, went to Twitter, found a bunch of them, and I'm about to go into them. But before I get to that, now the reason I mentioned the Tom and Jerry fact is the maker of Tom and Jerry, as well as a bunch of other different cartoons, he's called, I think, Gene Deitch or Deitch, I don't really know how to pronounce his name, passed away sometime this previous week. And as a lover of cartoons, because hell, I pretty much just grew up on cartoons and barely anything else, it's a very sad time for me, or at least it's a very sad thing to hear for something that has actually made up the largest chunk of my childhood in terms of entertainment and learning about shit. So for just about anyone who didn't know that, now you know. And it's unfortunate that we've lost one of the best in terms of people who helped make our childhoods. Anyways, now I need to start on a slightly serious note. Now, last week there was this story that sort of blew up on social media. Hell, it even blew up on traditional media, and even the Cabinet Secretary for Health in Kenya, Mr. Mutahi Kagwe, actually spoke about it. So a Red Cross ambulance driver and a paramedic were called by their boss past the curfew time, because here in Kenya we've been under some level of partial lockdown. It's a curfew really, so from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. you're not supposed to be moving outside your house. You're just supposed to be indoors and shit. So the paramedic and the ambulance driver were called with the ambulance to go and pick a patient. Now the patient wasn't anyone who was sick, but it was the boss's son and his drunk friends. And the mission was they were supposed to be taken home. Now I'm not even gonna talk about how overprivileged some people are, blah blah blah, but I'm just gonna come out and say this because there's no easy way to say this. People are fucking stupid. I'm not even supposed to talk about Miss Rona on this podcast. Like, I've been refraining from that shit, but this time I'm just gonna bring it in just so that I can push in the point properly. Now, coronavirus has been around for a while, and if you're listening to this after coronavirus, then lucky you survived it. It's been a pretty big problem for just about everyone. Now, the curfew, the lockdown, it's supposed to help us sort of stay indoors and not mingle as much so that we don't spread the virus more than it actually is. Now, when you're flouting such shit, it's understandable. There's people with privilege, and if you have a leg up on everyone, hell, use it. I'm not saying use it all the time and use it to hurt other people, but if you have a leg up that can give you an added advantage, use it. But when you decide to post up this shit on social media, because the nigger decided to record it and post it up on IG stories, and that's where the problem comes in. Because if you'd have done this shit, like if you as a person would have done it and not posted it up and just made sure that it's like a memory for your friends, or if you're recording this shit, you post it up way after corona, then it would have been perfectly okay. No one would have cared. People would have understood, there's rich kids, there's people with privilege, blah blah blah. It happens to everyone. And if people weren't able to properly timestamp it, it would have been perfectly fine. But you decide to take the privilege that isn't really yours, but your parents that have sort of given you an added advantage, and you decide to post it up on social media. You're just being plain daft, because this is a very touchy time. This is a time when everyone is very anxious. In a sense, people are in a very touchy mood because of corona, because businesses have had to slow down. Businesses are dying. The economy is dipping. Hell, we're about to go into one of the worst economic depressions, and we're looking into one of the worst recessions ever recorded in over the past 50 years. And you're busy pulling such shit. Do you really think people are gonna be nice towards this? Do you think people are gonna consider this fun? And it does kind of bring about this big issue of people just posting up shit on social media trying to look good. It's okay to have privilege. It's okay to get a leg up on different things and different people. But you don't have to post up all the shit that you do on social media, because to some level, it's like this guy was just trying to look for clout. It's like this guy just wanted to look like he's the shit. And in reality, looking like the shit and being the shit are two very different things. Because you can look like you're the shit, but you only look like you're the shit because of this video, and it was only probably gonna look like this really, really dope thing for a certain period of time. Which is why we just tell people, rather you just have the memory that you can tell people. But you're posting up shit on social media? Man, this is how people get into whole loads of shit because of stuff that wasn't even supposed to happen. A lot of shit has been posted up on social media over the past many years, which have gotten people into shit. And it's not even because they were that bad, but it's because they're on record. Anyways, the only unfortunate bit about this is that it happened, and I don't think that much of drastic action will be taken against them or against, the parent that authorized for such shit and pushed for such a thing to happen. But hell, one way or another, shit isn't gonna be the same. The way I see it, if the parent is going to get some form of action, hell, they could be fired, they could be suspended, they could get a full month without pay. It can go all sorts of ways just because that child decided to be foolish for once. Hell, if you're gonna do some crazy shit, especially during a touchy time like right now, please, by all means, do it, but don't show us. Do it, but hide it. Save the photos, save the videos for after the fact. If you're not gonna do that, then hell, just hold it as memories. Because when it's a memory and when it's a story that you're telling people, you can tweak it the way you like. Anyways, that being said, now on to the next one. This particular tweet, I don't know, it feels like it's been said more than once, but I don't think people usually get it. So the tweet goes like this: she don't need you when you're alone, she only needs you when she's alone. And some people went all in, they are like, oh my goodness, I never really understood this is so much facts. And I'm like, how dumb are you to not get this? Hell, maybe I'm probably reaching, or I'm being a little bit insulted, but it's just as it is. You're not going to really care up until you actually want to need something. Now, especially when you use the term need, obviously she's not going to need you when you're alone. Hell, you might feel like you need her, and keyword being feel like you need. But in reality, if you're alone, not unless if she's alone, she won't really need you. Not unless if she wants or she craves for something that you can probably provide, she won't exactly need you. So it's a particularly dumb thing to say. But the way I see it, it's just how the world works. People won't need you unless they actually need you, unless they have a shortage of something that you have to provide. And it works even with women. If a woman suddenly feels like she wants a man and you happen to be the man that she wants, of course she's gonna want you. That's just 1 + 1. Just the same way with guys. If you just switch the she with a he, and you said he don't need you when you're alone, he needs you when he's alone, then it's just the truth. The only thing is, with guys, we're a lot more generous. Even though I don't necessarily need you, I might tell you to come through just cause I'm horny and I wanna fuck, or probably just cause you're there and you're fuckable. Anyways, that's just simple facts. I feel as though people never really understand this. On to the next tweet, because I feel this one probably deserves a little bit more time. Why is it that a good number of ladies would rather use their bodies to gain fame and wealth than work smart to achieve success? And I don't know, how do I say this? I have to be on the side of the ladies for this, because I feel as though, honestly, I think people give them a little too much flack for this. Because I'm not even gonna lie to you, niggas would do the exact same thing. Hell, they'd probably even give it more. Because a lot of times guys have talked about how, women are gold diggers, shorties just wanna leech off of you. If you're put in that same exact position, you probably do the same exact thing. The only reason why you probably aren't going to do the same exact thing right now is because you've been on this side of the table. Like, that's just what it is. And when you look at a good number of women using sex and using their bodies to gain fame and wealth. What exactly is wrong with it is just the fact that it doesn't seem like it's morally upright to whoever it is that's saying this, and just about everyone that agrees with her. Because when you look at it, in the many years that we have been on this planet, in the many years that I personally have been on this planet, I've gotten to learn one thing. It's not about how you get there, it's about how you stay there. And it's something that applies for fame. It's something that applies on it's something that applies on fame. It's something that applies on wealth even. It's something that applies on a lot of different things. Because to be quite honest, and I'm gonna use Kim K's example. I know I'm sort of overusing her at this point, but shit, she works. When you look at Kim K, when you just look at the Kardashians as a whole, they're known for dating black people. When you look at Kim K, who's known for just dating black guys and fairly famous black people. When you look at Khloe Kardashian, also the same thing. When you look at Kourtney's sort of never really been that noticed. But anyways, I'll probably edit half of this shit off. When you look at Kim K is the most famous Kardashian that is there. Now, the thing that made Kim K a big deal was her sex tape. And hell, people will talk about, Kim K slept her way to the top, Kim K this, Kim K that. But let's be quite honest. The only reason why we really give a damn about Kim K was because she made a sex tape. And the thing is, she's managed to maintain a pretty good net worth. She's managed to maintain a pretty good level of fame and to some level success by some people's definitions, because she just happened to be involved, and because she's happened to make some pretty good moves over the time that she's been famous. So what problem is there when other people want to do the same exact thing? Because yes, it's been said a lot, there's people that'll sleep their way to the top. But when you look at guys, to be quite honest, I am not even going to lie to you. For me as a guy, if a fairly thick, fairly hot woman wants to offer me a job, but is like, okay, I want to give you the job, but you need to show me how well it is that you can work. I need you to show me that you can put effort on it. And it probably requires us going to a hotel room and you giving me the business. You think I'm going to say no? Hell, I'm going to go and over deliver on that shit. I'm not even going to hold back. So when people decide that because some women have slept their way to the top, some women have banged a bunch of people to get to the top, and they think that it's suddenly a wrong thing, just think about it from your own level and ask yourself this question. If I was in that position, if I was in the position where I can gain without having to do so much, provided I go and bang a few people, and hell, I might probably enjoy some of them, is there really a problem? At that point, you'll probably find that there's not that much of a problem with a lot of us. You'll find a lot of us won't have that much of a problem. So, to be quite honest, do I really think that sleeping your way to the top is a bad thing? No. Well, yes and no. And I have my reasons for either. But like I said, it's not about how you get to the top, it's about how you stay there. That's just what matters in today's day and age. So, for anyone who wants to pick beef with this shit, just understand, most of the people that usually complain about this shit actually are mostly people who aren't at the top. Hardly will you ever hear someone who's at the top complaining about such shit. But anyways, who am I to talk? I'm not there yet, so we'll see. Anyways, now on to the main bit of today. Hell, maybe even the title was influenced by it. So there was this story that went around Twitter on Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe a bit of Thursday. And it was just about eating ass. Now, the story that came out was there was this shorty that was busy talking about eating ass and said, eating ass is not a problem for me, dear. It's just to show that I'm the one who used to bang him. And some nigga who just happened to have had his ass eaten by the same babe comes in and talks about how he can't argue with someone who eats shit, like literal shit. And my word, these guys went on a back and forth on Kenyan Twitter, and goodness, people really ruined this man. Like, this guy went from being ridiculed for having his ass eaten to being ridiculed for having a small dick to an entire tribe of people being ridiculed to SDAs being ridiculed and SDA being rebranded as a small dick association. Like, this shit went out of proportion. And as much as I do want to get into the whole fact that, he was dick shamed and everything, I'm gonna leave that for a different episode. I'm gonna be talking about body shaming and dick shaming in Battle of the Sexes next week, so y'all can just wait for that one. But here's the thing. I have no problem with eating ass. But personally, do I want to have my ass eaten? No, that's not how I work. That just doesn't work for me. I've never really taken pleasure in it, and I find it quite odd. But it doesn't mean that if it doesn't apply to me, it doesn't apply to other people. There's some people that love it when their ass is eaten. And by all means, if you're someone that enjoys eating ass, then it shouldn't be too much of a problem. If you are the babe that went and ate this nigga's ass, I bet when you are looking at that butthole and you're about to go in, the song that was just playing at the back of your head was this one.
We're gonna eat that ass up. Eat that ass up. Eat that ass up. Let's get eat that ass up. Hey! Shout it! Shout it! Shout it!
And that must have been like all your brain cells just coming together and just thinking the same exact thing, just so that you can go in. Because, well, for a lot of us, if you tell me that you want me to eat your ass, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna look at you, wear my clothes, and walk away. But it doesn't mean that if you like your ass being eaten, it's a particularly bad thing. Hell, there's some people that take pleasure from all sorts of weird shit. Have we looked at BDSM people and the fact that they like being tied up and some of them like being whipped? Has anyone really said that that's too weird? People have come out and they've acknowledged that it's fetishes that people have and that it's a nice thing. There's nothing too wrong with it. And people have been more accepting of it. If a shorty says that she wants 2 or more dicks in her on a regular, so she's into threesomes, or she's probably saying that she loves having sex with both a man and a woman, people aren't going to judge. People aren't going to say that, oh my goodness, this is too weird. But a nigga getting his ass eaten is suddenly a problem. Like, what is wrong with people? There's nothing wrong with eating ass as long as it's clean. Although I'm not gonna lie, the moment where this shorty was like, but immediately after I got done eating your ass, you kissed me, I was looking at it a different way. I'm like, damn, nigga, like, you must as it takes a lot, cause like, if you didn't clean your ass and then she went and she ate your ass and then she come to and then you, oh my goodness, if you're talking about talking shit, then you're the literal perversion of it. But but the way I see it, it's just sad. It's just sad for a nigga. If Genie Aiko says that you should eat that booty like groceries right here,
but you gotta eat the booty like groceries,
then it actually seems like it's okay. But if the story comes out that a nigga's ass was eaten, then it's suddenly a big issue. Cause goodness damn, like, being a nigga on this planet is hard. Hell, getting your ass eaten at this rate as a nigga is gonna be even harder. Cause if shorties decide to talk about that shit and it ends up on Twitter, my nigga, you fucked.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Anyways, y'all hit me up on the Instagram at Breaktime on Westside. On Twitter, you can hit me up at Bagak. The D, the B, and the D are capital. I want to know what you guys think about this. And up until the next episode from Breaktime on Westside, I will see you guys later. Take care. Think about it. When you're like eating ass and then the person farts, does that mean that you've been taking some real shit, or should you say that you've been gassed up? I don't know. That's just a thought though.